Hey everyone, welcome back to Inner Spark. Today's story is all about how to increase your value in life and business. It's about growth, mindset, and making yourself so valuable that opportunities come looking for you. Let's dive in. If you're new here, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss a new motivational story. Harrison lived an ordinary life with a steady 9-to-5 job. He earned just enough to cover his rent and groceries, but every day felt the same. While his friends seemed to be moving ahead, he felt like he was standing still. Deep down, he wanted more from life, but he wasn't sure how to get there. His routine was safe but uninspiring. He knew he had potential, but he wasn't using it. Inside, he carried a burning question: how do I become more valuable? One evening, after finishing work, Harrison scrolled through LinkedIn. He saw former classmates who were now thriving. Some had started their own companies. Others were leading global teams. He couldn't help but compare himself. Why not me? He thought. The difference wasn't luck, it was growth. At that moment, he realized success comes to those who make themselves valuable. That night, Harrison promised himself he would change. The first step was facing his own weaknesses. Harrison sat with a notebook and wrote down his strengths and flaws. The list was uncomfortable to look at. He realized he had few specialized skills, avoided difficult challenges, and spent most of his free time on distractions. Admitting this truth was painful, but it was also powerful. For the first time, he saw himself clearly. Growth, he decided, begins with honesty. Determined to improve, Harrison turned to books. He committed to reading one every month: business, psychology, and self-development. At first, the habit felt strange, but slowly his mind began to expand. New perspectives opened doors he didn't know existed. He realized knowledge was like compound interest. The more he invested, the more valuable he became. Learning, he discovered, would be his first step to freedom. Soon, Harrison noticed that the most successful people at work weren't just knowledgeable. They had specialized skills. Promotions went to those who brought something unique to the table. So he enrolled in a digital marketing course. The first few weeks were tough, filled with jargon he barely understood. But he refused to quit. With time and practice, he grew more confident. Every new skill made him more valuable in the workplace. Staying consistent, however, was a real battle. Some evenings he wanted to relax, watch Netflix, or meet friends instead of studying. But then he reminded himself, if I stop now, nothing will change. Slowly, discipline replaced excuses. He realized that consistency was the bridge between where he was and where he wanted to be. Success wasn't about bursts of effort. It was about showing up every single day. One evening, Harrison attended a networking event where he met John, a successful entrepreneur. John shared a piece of advice that stuck with him. If you want people to invest in you, you must first invest in yourself. Those words became a turning point. Harrison finally understood that he couldn't sit around waiting for opportunities. He had to create them by becoming someone worth noticing. With every new skill and lesson, Harrison's confidence began to grow. In meetings, he stopped hiding in the background and started sharing his ideas. At first, his voice shook, but people listened. His manager began to recognize his contributions. Confidence, Harrison realized, wasn't about being perfect. It was about daring to speak up and letting others see your value. Harrison also decided to stop blaming circumstances. Instead of complaining about his boss or his company, he focused on what he could control. He volunteered for projects outside his comfort zone, even the ones others avoided. By taking ownership, he showed he was reliable. Responsibility became his new trademark, and people started trusting him with bigger opportunities. Networking became another game changer. Harrison realized that success wasn't just what you know, it was also who knew you. He started attending workshops, seminars, and business events. At first, it felt awkward, but he soon built genuine connections. These relationships opened doors he never imagined. He learned that the right people could multiply your opportunities. Of course, not everything went smoothly. Harrison's first major project didn't go as planned. The results were disappointing, and he felt embarrassed in front of his team. For a moment, he considered quitting. But instead of hiding, he analyzed what went wrong and tried again. That failure became a lesson in resilience. He realized failure doesn't lower your value, it increases it if you learn from it. Shifting his focus, Harrison started thinking about how he could help others. Instead of only improving himself, he began mentoring junior colleagues, sharing what he had learned and supporting his team members. To his surprise, people respected him more for his generosity. He discovered a powerful truth. The fastest way to increase your value is to add value to others. That there were days when motivation disappeared completely. Harrison often woke up feeling tired, questioning if all this effort was worth it. That's when he learned a critical lesson: motivation may start the journey, but discipline finishes it. He built a morning routine and stuck to it, even on bad days. Discipline became his anchor, ensuring progress even when his emotions wavered. Over time, small wins began to stack up. Every new skill, every connection, and every successful project was a step forward. Looking back, Harrison realized success doesn't arrive in one big moment. It's built from countless small, consistent actions. Those wins, though tiny at first, created unstoppable momentum. When Harrison received his first pay rise, he faced a choice: spend it on luxuries or reinvest in growth. Many of his peers chose the first option, but Harrison decided differently. He enrolled in advanced courses, attended professional workshops, and bought books. By reinvesting in himself, he planted seeds for greater rewards later. That decision set him apart from the crowd. Eventually, Harrison's boss noticed his progress and asked him to lead a small team. At first, Harrison doubted his ability, but he quickly realized leadership wasn't about control. It was about guidance. He supported his teammates, helped them succeed, and built trust. Leadership, he discovered, is earned through service, not demanded through titles. As months passed, word of Harrison's work ethic spread across the company. Other departments began requesting his involvement in their projects. Without realizing it, he had built a reputation, a kind of silent CV. People talked about his reliability, attitude, and ability to deliver results. Reputation, he realized, is one of the most valuable currencies in both life and business. Then came the turning point. After years of consistent effort, Harrison received an offer from another company at nearly double his salary. He was shocked, but proud. It was proof that value creates opportunities. He didn't have to chase success. Success came chasing him because he had made himself valuable enough to deserve it. Soon, Harrison took an even bigger step. Using the skills and connections he had built, he started his own consultancy. It was risky, and at first the journey was tough. But he now had the confidence, knowledge, and discipline to push through challenges. He was no longer just an employee. He had become the creator of his own path. Years later, Harrison became a mentor for others who were just starting out. He shared his story openly, reminding people not to chase money first, but to focus on building value. If you increase your value, he often said, the money will follow naturally. His journey stood as proof that personal growth is the foundation of both business and life success. Harrison's story shows us that increasing value is not about shortcuts or luck. It's about consistent effort, self-discipline, lifelong learning, and helping others along the way. In both life and business, people don't pay for time, they pay for value. The higher your value, the greater your opportunities. So, invest in yourself, take responsibility, and create impact. In the end, success will find you because you've built yourself into someone truly worth it.